Trying to wrap my head around running across Ohio was pretty challenging. I should mention how amazing it is that I told my wife, Tammy, hey, I'm going to run across Ohio. And she just said, okay, what weekend? It wasn't like, are you crazy? You know how far that is? It was, hey, what weekend? So it's pretty cool. I have this amazing support team, but we went from concept to running in about 7 days. I hatched this whole idea with the virtual run across Ohio and kicking it off by running across Ohio. And I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. We didn't even know where we were going necessarily the night before or where we were staying. We just pulled into a little town called Convoy because it was close to the Indiana border. And at 4:08, we started. So far, so good. We got Bo's all excited. He was our wake-up call. I think he was actually sleep talking. I don't remember what he was saying, but he kind of woke us up, so. Are you guys ready for an epic start to whatever this is going to be? Go across the state? All right. Well, what time you got officially on your watch? Yeah, what time you got officially?
4:08 a.m.
Okay.
On Friday, May 22nd.
Well, just so you guys all know, what we're going to do is really hard. Like, it's really hard. So it's going to be worth it, but it's going to be a hard 3 days. So I appreciate you guys being here for sure. All right, you want to see what start looks like when a guy starts a 245-mile journey?
Get it.
I can't believe you woke up. How amazing. All right, this is it. Ready? All right, see you.
See ya. Woo!
So starting at 4:08, we started heading east. And for the first, I would say 20 miles, we had perfect rain, cool weather, and we are moving really fast.
Welcome to the Lincoln Highway.
This is it, huh?
This is it, man. You got fresh water. Do you want anything else?
What's that?
You got fresh water. Do you want anything else?
No, actually,
Or are you still running with that?
half that cookie that's in there would be great. It's time to start having breakfast. Oh man, Lincoln Highway sign. Okay, now we're there. Feels really good after a whole winter of running in the cold garbage. How's that for you guys? Pretty exciting, huh?
As the sun came up every day, it was kind of like my burst of energy. It helped me a ton.
Oh man, it's like running wise, I think we're gonna push the pace a little bit because it's. I mean, you couldn't ask for better weather than this. We got quite a few miles to put in today. Just a little bit.
But when I realized that this event was going to be, or this run was going to be really, really awesome, was when we first came into Van Wert. I ran for, I don't know, about a half marathon with nothing to see. And then all of a sudden we came into Van Wert and how amazing it was to see my crew, but also Van Wert is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of really cool old towns and old buildings and really neat stuff to see. And I realized, wow, as we go across the state, I'm going to be seeing these things all the time. And I was right.
Found some road treasures. We're trying to find random places to go pee, and there's no place to pee around 30. I mean, it's showdown style. It's not good.
And we started making our way to the east, and little weird things were happening, like when we came into Gomer, and Uncle Al was out waiting. So I'm running ahead, and I can see this fluorescent shirt, and I know no one in my group has a fluorescent shirt. And I get there, and my crew says, "Hey, Uncle Al's here to see you."
Road treasure. Yeah. Is that really Uncle Al up there?
Yeah, in the green shirt.
That is so great. I gotta go talk to this guy. Is this the famous Uncle Al up here?
I am senior, and that guy with the black shirt on is junior.
How are you guys?
Good.
Beautiful little town, man.
It's
How
nice.
cool.
It is nice. Welcome to Gomer.
So did these guys tip you off we were
Yes.
coming through? Good. Yep. Well, I wish I could say we were almost there, but we're not even close. We got a long way to go.
Quarter away done?
No, we're about 35 miles in.
Oh, what made you want to do this?
Well, as you know, with the coronavirus garbage going on, a camp that's really important to me has been really devastated financially. So just trying to raise awareness and get people excited about helping them out.
So Nuhop was founded in 1974 by my parents, Terry and Jerry Dunlap, and Dad was a science teacher, middle school science teacher, and Mom was a special needs teacher. They put their heads together and decided that, hey, there's not many places out there right now in the world that serve these kids in a residential camping experience. And so they were ahead of their time. Fast forward, and Nuhop has grown exponentially in its 46-year history. We lost the ability to serve 2,000 kids this spring through our outdoor education and respite programs. And yeah, we're a nonprofit, but you also have to bring in revenue to be able to support the mission. And at Nuhop, the mission is to provide a safe, nurturing, dynamic learning environment where people and kids are empowered to succeed. It's been taxing, it's been a little bit challenging, but you know, the neat thing about Nuhop is that we are an institution that is adaptive and flexible, and we will come hell or high water, we're gonna figure out a way to serve. So Brian and I and Tammy have known each other for a long time, since they opened the store in Worcester, Ohio. And every once in a while you get these crazy calls, and Brian's like, hey, he said, I've got this crazy idea. I'm gonna run across the state of Ohio. And we're gonna do a virtual race for people to be able to be a part of something and give them the opportunity to be motivated to help support an institution like yourself. What do you think? Number one, like, holy cow, it's so meaningful when you have a relationship with somebody where they understand that you have to get your mission, you have to be able to get your mission to move forward, even in times of adversity. And so Brian was like, let's get after this. Let's do this thing. Your whole sole purpose is to get kids together and to help them see a different way. And what a motivating factor to see a guy that is facing adversity by running 245 miles across the state, and to model that behavior that, oh my gosh, you can do anything you put your mind to. And that's what we're here for Nuhop. So it was a perfect synergy between the two institutions. We at Nuhop always believe that the glass is half full, that there are ways to still be successful even when we're faced with things we didn't want to. The globe is faced with this right now. And there's serendipity in the fact that there is a lot of love in this world, and how blessed are we that we have people that are here that are choosing to support us. And it started with a person's idea that said, hey, let's host this race. Let's make Nuhop the beneficiary of this experience called the Run Across Ohio. And we could not be any more grateful for what Brian and Tammy and the running community is doing for Nuhop right now.
It's on Old Lincoln Highway.
You know, just meeting up with all these people along the way was a heck of a lot of fun. But day one went pretty easy. I mean, honestly, I was running at a pace that was very easy for me. I was fresh. I was excited. There were little towns pretty much through the whole route, which was a nice little break. You know, I would talk to my crew, and Blake would say, okay, no problem, 5 miles to the next town. And it was a nice little milestone.
And if it's too much, I feel almost full. If it's too much, just dump some out for they'll see shortly. I'm probably gonna catch up here. 5 miles like that.
That looks good.
Yeah, he's been
on for a while.
That's the end of it.
We're just setting up lunch whenever my dad comes in, so we can just sit down and relax and just enjoy some food.
So I think my plan is take it pretty easy for like the next 4 or 5 hours, just mostly walking. And then at 6:30, I want to change shoes, and I'm just going to run a 10-mile run. I'd say the hardest part is not going too fast. You feel great, but will you feel great like 48 hours from now? Probably not. I was thinking if we got to 90, 95, that would be crazy without any damage.
Are you trying to do a lot today? So.
Well, I mean, look at the weather.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Do you think it's going to get any better than this? No. Like, even when the sun started to peak out a little bit, I was like, uh-oh. Right.
But at one point, we got past those towns and we had about a 30-mile stretch where there was absolutely nothing to see, just open road. And you might think that that would be very boring. I loved it. It was easy for me to get into a rhythm and just keep on moving. It happened to be during a period where I was predominantly walking, saving some energy. But for the most part, I just love the beautiful scenery and the solace of nothing being out there and just kind of being alone allowed me to move pretty well.
You're just cruising along. Doesn't really wear your body down too much. You just don't cover much ground. So, but it's great. We're covering ground and not beating ourselves up. I'm gonna run at the end of every hour just to keep legs loose. That way when I want to go back to running, I can run. Yep. But next stop, we'll do some general maintenance stuff. Okay. So I'll need the back of the van basically. Okay. We just spray some stuff here and clean some stuff up there. Change a shirt probably.
In my opinion, I mean, I've crewed for Brian in a lot of races, and he's always found his way up front with races, with life, everything. Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
Just competitive guy. I mean, pretty standout high school athlete, and then having the three of us clowns around the house, there's always some sort of competition, whether it's tip dunk in the backyard or wiffle ball or whatever it is. Just want to be the best and win.
So that's what you think it is? It's like a winning kind of thing, or is it like the game?
This specific race is not that, but
sure.
A lot of other stuff is winning, and running's a little more unique because I think running is more winning against himself. So you're testing your limits against yourself and what your own body can do, and if you have success to your game plan and you come out on top and win the race, which he has, that's great. But you set a goal and you try to accomplish it, and if you do, that's winning enough.
Yeah, the rhythm's big for me. So like even the running, once I get into a rhythm, it's almost like I can just run and I don't feel any, like I don't even have to do anything. I don't even know where I'm at. I just get cruising. So that's what later today, once I know I've kind of got the day under wraps, I'm just gonna change my shoes, change my shorts, change my shirt, and just go for like 90 minutes and just get into that rhythm and cover some major ground before we've got all kinds of fun recovery stuff for later. So
we had a plan for the end of day one that I thought was fun, but kind of aggressive. So the plan was over the last 2.5 hours, it would be a 90-minute hard run, and then it would be a 60-minute walk with my son, Bo. And so it was cool, just like clockwork. With about 2.5 hours to go in the day, we changed clothes. I actually put on like a racing singlet and my racing shorts and my fast shoes. And I ran like 7:45 to 8-minute miles for 90 minutes straight, which felt incredibly good. I had been running this kind of abbreviated stride, easy pace for all day. And so to transition over to a nice full stride and moving quick, just felt natural to me. It felt like a lot of fun. So when we got to the end of that 90 minutes, just as scheduled, Bo popped out of the truck and we walked into Upper Sandusky. And Upper Sandusky is really cool. And it also felt good knowing that, wow, the sun's about to go down. We're really close to the end of our journey for day one. It just had this complete feeling. We were in the right place. I mean, it just felt right.
We are gonna clean up. Brian and Bo are almost done. Bo is walking with him for his brother's Jeff Polen is doing a 5K every day in the month of May for Jeff Polen Music. So they are committed to that and walking the 5K. We'll clean up here. Kind of Brian will probably change clothes, put on the Normatex, use the Theragun a little bit, and just do some good recovery. And then we'll probably eat some pizza. The most dangerous part of your day will be crossing that road.
Pretty epic day one.
That's a strong day one. You know what it is? Good stuff.
I know, it's in the books. Watch this, stop for the first time ever today. 86.2 miles. I'm doing actually very good. I'm starving. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally starving. Did Sadie go get the pizza? Oh my God. When I saw her, I was like, yes, yes. But no, I feel great. So no damage. I mean, I'm tired. It's like sleepy tired. Like I'm hungry and want to go to bed. So, but everything works. I mean, there towards the end, I was running, I don't know, 7:30, 8-minute pace for an hour and a half. So everything works really good. So I'm excited to get back out there tomorrow. It'll be fun. I can't wait to see Worcester. I can't wait to see all the local territory. So it's going to be really cool.
And so, you know, get a decent night's sleep. I think we slept in a hotel parking lot in the back of the van. We get a decent night's sleep. I pop out of the van for day 2. Our predicted start time was 5 o'clock. So I get out of the van about 4:30, and it's the weirdest feeling. You sit down for a second, then you stand up for the first time, and you check, and your toes are wiggling, and your ankles are kind of hinging, and your knees seem to be mobile, and your hips move, and you realize pretty quickly, I'm okay. Like this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to move along pretty good today.
Too good. It's just creepy.
Don't sleep fast. Wake up fast.
All right. Well, it's 5:08. You couldn't be any more consistent than that.
You ready to go
I am.
for day 2?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Funny enough, at 5:08, we're very consistent in being late. At 5:08, we started heading towards what I thought was going to be the highlight of the day. Heading towards home, heading towards Worcester and Wayne County and the area where our running community is.
Actually, we got a good night's rest in the crewing van. One of our crewmates still catching a little bit of sleep, so trying to keep the voice down, but no, feel good. We were able to get some good rest. Brian slept really well. I think it looks like he probably walked the first half mile and started running again. We got an awesome morning out here again, so hopefully the weather cooperates for a strong day 2.
Pretty good morning for a run.
Yeah, I would say.
It's awesome
Super
out there.
nice.
Yeah, it's so great. Well, actually, the only difference would be I'm trying to wake up. So yesterday I was like, yeah, let's do it. And today I'm like, oh, this again. This is going to be something. So, no, it's going to be perfect.
Cool.
I'm happy. All my body parts are working. So that was my concern. I've never gone super long 2 days in a row. So everything feels really, really good.
How far have you gone before at one time? Or like
127 miles or something like that. I
Right
think.
around 130.
Yeah. That was all at one time. So sometimes when you lay down and take a break, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but this is actually working out great. Actually, I have bad news for Tammy. I may actually start sleeping in my van all the time. It's the best sleep in the world. It's unbelievable.
The plan for us was always get up in the morning and hammer pretty hard for the first few hours. Take advantage of the no sun, the cool temps, the fresh body, and just get miles behind us.
Yeah, we're about 10 miles, hour 45. Very consistent today. Still got lots of work to do. Yeah, if I start making wild...
Tailwind, I have just water if you want it.
No, this is good. If I start making random turns, you might need to check on me.
Looks great. Yeah, we're about 4 miles from Bucyrus. We're going to stop and get some breakfast, do a nice little Nutella and banana sandwich, and keep cruising.
These stretches, it's just hilarious. I just have a fun time kind of laughing at it. But yesterday, the AirPods were really important because people were calling me business-related stuff. Actually, it was a Friday. I'm supposed to be working.
And I think we got into Crestline somewhere around a half marathon, and I picked up my friend Thad, who lives in Crestline, and he kind of gave me a verbal tour of the town, which was really neat. And then as we got into downtown Crestline, I picked up my brother JP, who was planning on running just a few miles, was what he told me, a few miles.
I'm not a big runner. I try to get I try to maintain anywhere from like 30 to 60 miles a week. So I like to have a good base. One of my big goals is to run all 50 states by age 50 in marathon. So my 50 by 50 goal is what's rocking. But I think this is day like 385 in a row of running at least a 5K every day. So I'm a streaker. It's easy to kind of keep trying to do your best, and I think that's fantastic, but it's easy to start looking at other people and say, man, I'm not as fast as they are, and that's a real joy killer. So you just got to keep doing your best, I think, and that's what keeps the thing fun. And then, of course, finding people to run with. So Brian and I run together pretty much every Friday when we're both in town, and that's super fun. And I think there's a clarity, too, when you're running and everything else just slows down, everything kind of gets stripped away, and there's a clarity of thought that a lot of times then just enhances the conversation you're having. I mean, you talk during football, you talk during soccer, but it's all smack talk, right? But with running, it becomes kind of life talk, because there's so many analogies too. While you're running and things get difficult, but you push through. That's the story of life, right? Life gets difficult, but you push through.
27.2.
Okay, so Ontario is 8.3.
Okay. So we gotta do this for a whole other day after this whole other day.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you're not really using them. I'm chatting with that. He's giving me all the.
You want me to take it back and charge it?
He's giving me all the dirty details about Crestline. He showed me where the tornado ripped through there.
You saw how flat it was. All those half back there, all those trees that were half gone, and people's front lawns just ripped up. I mean, a couple miles from my house. The Crestline, actually, the name is because it's like a crest, because it's really flat. And then once you keep going from here on, you start getting a little bit of rolling hills. So it's kind of like the crest on the edge of the hills, I guess. I didn't know that.
You know what you got to do? You got to promote your elite running team. You got to show them your shirt. The post-Fontaines. Look at that shirt.
This never works. Here.
Got to bring the band back together.
So we're making our way. We finally lose Thad. My brother JP is with me, and we just start pounding out these really fun miles. So much so that my brother, who planned on running just a few miles, I think ended up going about 45 miles that day. He just was having so much fun, he didn't want to stop, so he just kept going. And as we started getting into towns like Ontario, where I stopped and I picked up the birthday boy, Trevor Dunlap, the executive director at Nuhop. He jumps in and he starts to realize, wow, this is really fun. He's even having a great time running across Ohio.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
How's it going?
good. How are you doing?
I'm not running as far as that guy, so it's pretty positive.
So far, so good. I mean, it's a much warmer day today, so you can feel that. My buddy JP almost melted.
Not a true story.
Whoa! What is this?
Facebook Live. Everybody says hi. Well, there's only 3 people on. How are you feeling? Hey, everybody. We want to show actually the real secret sauce to today's success. Trevor Dunlap.
Get into Mansfield and we start seeing people that we recognize and areas that we know. Things could not have been going better. We get into then a little town called Mifflin, where there's a party going on.
Polen! How are you, Mikey? I'm good. How you guys doing? Doing good.
You ready to rock?
I'm ready to start.
I believe in you.
We were planning on picking up my friend Mike Gabalski, and Mike's plan was fun.
Mikey, are you jumping in here?
Heck yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
How far are we from Worcester?
26.5.
Okay.
Yep.
So you'll have a cool down build in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So his plan was to run his very first marathon. Mike is a guy that had told me so many times, I will never run a marathon, ever. But for some reason, he decided that this was the perfect time to do it.
Keeping it real. I have no idea how far I have gone because I keep resetting my watch. So I'll just say I've gone as far as him. So a couple hundred miles probably.
Look at it.
Almost 46. Almost 46 miles. So that means Worcester is going to be
Not far.
56, 66, 72 miles in. Oh, mama. I'm just trying to get to the store as fast as I can so I can take a shower. I'm pretty sure all this is real gross.
Well, not too fast, Brian.
No, not too fast.
Not too
You're
fast.
right. You're right. Do you have stuff you want to throw in there?
She's going to be chasing us for a little while anyway.
All right. Well, one way to get there.
We're very blessed with an amazing running community here in Worcester. And it's funny how the whole thing happened. You know, I was training from 2008. You know, I'm training around Worcester and I'm putting all these miles in and I'm running past people. And it just feels kind of odd to run past another runner and just be like, hey, bro, do you want to get together and go for a run sometime? It just feels weird and a hair stalkerish. But certainly there needs to be a way to galvanize a running community. They need a hub. So I came home from a run one day and I said, Tammy, I think I'm going to start the Wooster Running Club. And she's like, okay, that's a good idea. She goes, but the reason that you go all the way to Hudson is because you love the community of the running store. She goes, instead of starting a running club, why don't you open a running store? And that kind of hit me a little bit. I was like, well, you know, here I am, an engineer working in Brunswick every day. It's like, how would that be possible? I'm like, we would need someone to run it. And she goes, I'll do it. She goes, yeah, we start a running store together. I'll be the manager. And the way I am, when something like that hits you in the face and it makes all the sense in the world, it's hard for me to get it out of my head. So I went for a run with the owner, a vertical runner up in Hudson, and pitched this idea. And before we knew it, we were picking a building and we were opening a store. And Tammy was 100% right. We had this store, this hub, this place where people could call the home of the Worcester running community. And me, I had friends to run with. Like, how could it be better than that, you know? And it's been a blessing to have these people, not just in this community, but in our lives. I mean, the runners are just awesome people. They're fun to be around. They're excited. They have hearts, traditionally hearts of gold. I mean, they're willing to do anything for you or for the running community, as evidenced by this run. I mean, you know, all these people that came out and ran with me, I did not know before opening the store. Mike Gabalski, I would probably not know Mike if it weren't for the store. So what the store has given me and Tammy is immeasurable, and hopefully we're doing that exact same thing for the community. So it was fun to pick Mike up, and I can't tell you, Mike is an amazing guy and an amazing runner, and he has an awesome story. He's horrible at picking marathon routes. From the point I picked him up, we started climbing mountain after mountain. You know, we went through Mifflin and climbed the Mifflin Monster. And it seemed like every time we would almost get into a groove, another humongous hill would come through Hayesville and Jeromesville, and climbing out of Reedsburg and coming into Worcester. It was nothing but hills. As we got closer and closer, it seemed like every stop, there was a little entourage kind of waiting for us, cheering for us.
Now we're getting close to Wooster. Oh, yeah. You should see how many hills we've covered. This is an epic journey. Oh, I know. This is fun.
It was kind of cool that in a time when the running community is not that engaged because all of our races are canceled, all of our events are canceled, it seemed like this guy running across the state of Ohio kind of galvanized the community and got people excited, which is really the point behind the virtual race. I mean, we want people to stay connected during this crazy time until things can get back to normal. As we approached Worcester, you know, you could tell Mike was having a typical first marathon day. He was tired, you know, but man, was he running great and his form looked good. So I wasn't too concerned about him making it. It was amazing to roll into downtown Worcester right at the store. where all of our friends were hanging out and, you know, present to the group, you know, Mike Gabalski, first-time marathoner.
I'm proud to present to you Mikey Gabalski Marathon.
How cool is that? You know, a lot of people will run their first marathon and their friends will know about it. They'll send them a message or a text. I mean, to be able to go stride for stride with him and see his journey and then congratulate him at the finish. No medal, no shirt, no anything. Just knowing he covered a marathon distance is pretty memorable experience. So I got here and I said, thank you guys for being here and supporting and all that. But boy, I need to take a shower because I was gross. 2 days of hard running in the sun is not good for any person. So I came into the store, I took a quick shower. I think we were at about 74, 75 miles, which just wasn't quite enough to give us a chance to finish this journey in our goal of 3 days.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Well, a few more miles tonight, and then tomorrow, get after it.
So popped out of the shower, grabbed a few of my greatest running friends, and we headed out of town. So we covered about another 5 miles that day and got to our stopping point. And that felt great to know that we had gotten about 79 miles in, put ourselves in striking distance to get there in 3 days. Local race director, Chrissy Patina, also a Dalton resident, had organized for the Dalton Dairyette to not only get us food, but donate us food. So they delivered food to our stopping point for the night. Not just for me, but they got it for Blake and Bo. They got it for Josh and Sadie. I mean, the whole team who desperately needed good food after 2 straight days of living out of our car and off of snacks and random stuff we could find along the way. It was amazing food.
You too, Chrissy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, after day 2, my takeaway is, if you want to run across Ohio, sign up for the virtual. Don't do it in 3 days or whatever. That is a bad idea. It's fun, but it's a bad idea.
So thank you to the Dalton Dairyette and thank you, Chrissy. But once everybody left, you know, we were approaching 11:30, almost midnight, and you know, we're sitting in this parking lot. We're getting ready to camp out, and we just had this very real conversation.
As far as any doubt that the distance couldn't be covered in 3 days, I would say there was a shred. On Saturday night, as we were doing a little, team recap, if you will, it was determining how far the distance outside of East Liverpool was going to be before we shut it down and moved to Monday.
My question is, I'm assuming, I don't know the route, but I'm assuming we got to be 85 to 90 miles to the finish, right?
It's tough because you can't get a true look through any map.
Because that doesn't take 30.
Right.
So my question becomes, how do we manage the finish of this thing?
76 miles as the way a vehicle would drive is to East Liverpool.
Right.
So it's probably not going to be that much off of that. Bo and I kind of calculated and guessed around 80 to 85.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would have an outside chance of making 85 tomorrow. Plan A is the same plan we always had. Plan B is we'll kind of pivot, and if it looks like we're not going to get there, there's absolutely no sense running like crazy
for sure. And there's a couple factors in there too, because one, it's going to be warmer tomorrow, so it's supposed to be like 82.
Oh, that'll be a joy.
Yeah. So we'll enjoy that.
The heat was unreal today. Like the sun just, once it came out, boy, it did not give up at all. One way or another. I mean, JP's cracking me up. He's like, I'm not signing up for this thing unless you finish. And I'm like, buddy, we're getting to East Liverpool.
Yeah, we'll finish.
Yeah, there's no debate about that. It's just a matter of when we're going to get there. Yep, day 3. Time to find out how well we can move. Day 3 should be okay, actually. I got it. Yep. Yeah, I'm lubed up from head to toe. Got a whole mess going on here.
You are good.
All right, well, but I got to sleep and I got some good sleep. A lot of tossing, turning, rolling around. The hard day, just the heat beats you down. So today's gonna be super hot too. So put a few miles behind us, see how we can navigate this heat and see how far we can go. Who knows?
So I woke up that morning and I hit the road. I mean, I was moving.
Mentally, I'm ready. Two things would stop the whole trip: is feet being a mess or chafing.
I think at the end of the first 6 hours, we covered about 34 miles, which is very close to what our goal was. And then after that, I transitioned over to a run-walk strategy. I really wanted to cover 24, 25 miles over those next 6 hours, put us at around the 60-mile range, which means to officially finish in 3 days, we would have about 6 hours to cover 20 miles. Seems super easy unless you've covered 225 miles already, and then those 20 miles seem like they go forever. And that's pretty much the way it went down. We went through all these cool little towns. I remember getting into Minerva and seeing my friends, the Meadows, and running with little Ray through downtown Minerva, which was really cool. Man, that kid is the best tour guide. He was telling me everything that ever happened, including where his grandpa lives. I mean, he was telling me everything I needed to know about Minerva. But once we got through Minerva, there's just nothing out there. I mean, between Minerva and Lisbon, even the towns that they call it, are not really big, impressive towns. They're just kind of blips on Route 30. And I started to grind pretty hard. And the other thing that happened was hills started to introduce themselves. It got hillier and hillier and hillier.
I mean, how many ice creams have you guys had?
Zero.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
They're
I would be eating ice cream. If I were you guys, I would be eating ice cream like,
We did it in Minerva.
continuous IV. Just keep plowing forward. We'll cover miles.
Yep, we're gonna catch you halfway here to Lisbon.
Okay.
And then we'll be in the city. So look for just huge tall buildings. I imagine Lisbon to just be something absolutely monumental.
Yep, epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it was about 6:30 in the evening. I looked at my watch, and that section of Route 30 is not the best to run anyhow. It's very narrow berms. That on the white line, for some reason, they have these rumble strips. So there was no berm, really can't run on the road because it's heavy traffic. So I was running on rumble strips for like 5-6 straight hours. And so I looked at my watch and I said, I do not want to get stuck on this section of Route 30 in the dark. So for some reason, I just started running. And I mean, I started running hard. It didn't matter if it was uphill, it didn't matter if it was downhill. I was running really hard to the point where I would get to my crew and I would see them scrambling because they're kind of like, he shouldn't be here already. What is he doing?
He is trucking that hill.
And actually, at one point, I yelled over to the crew. Bo told me that was the best setup they had ever had. And I yelled over to him and said,
Hey Blake, how far to Lisbon? See you there. You guys go park there and relax a little bit.
Water? Ice?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Got everything I need. I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, it's rolly, so enjoy it.
So I blew through what Bo said was the best setup they had ever had.
They just bombed that hill. I mean, you can see that hill.
No light was coming out.
That was good. So, we'll see. It's time to move.
It's already all the way down.
Yeah, it's a 225 mile second wind, you know. Some people get it at 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles. Brian Polen gets it at 225 miles.
So I was flying, just uphill, downhill, didn't matter. And when I ran downhill into Lisbon, I came in, I sat down, and I realized, okay, we're gonna be off that kind of scary stretch of road. But I think I overdid it.
Brian, Bo and I walked through the route. Pretty interesting coming into East Liverpool right now.
After picture, you turn right, and then on Stooks Ferry and Roller Coaster Road is a big one we got to.
Essentially.
So at this point, we just need to go through Lisbon, turn right on 45.
Correct.
Okay, and we'll see you at some point.
I'll probably be right here. Okay. Bo's gonna carry water too.
To be honest, I sat down in Lisbon and I was like, oh man. So I got up, we walked through Lisbon, which is an amazing little town. So many cool buildings and really cool history there. But it was becoming pretty obvious that running was going to be really challenging. I tried to run a couple times. It did not feel good. Well, as we left Lisbon, we walked hard, like 16, 17 minute pace, which is fast walking. We walked for almost 30 minutes straight uphill. It just kept going and going and going. At one point, Bo goes, man, are your calves hurting? Because mine are hurting. I said, yeah, funny enough, buddy, my calves are hurting. But anyhow, we hike and hike and hike, and Bo says, hey, I think I see the top of the hill. And I was like, okay, yeah, I see it too. Well, when we got there, we had to make a left onto a road called Roller Coaster Road.
We were like, are we at the top? And then we saw the left turn on the Lincoln Highway. We're like, oh, no, come on.
And it's called Roller Coaster Road for a very good reason. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up and up and up and up and up, and it goes down. And it does that for about 6 miles. So we just kept power hiking, no running, power hiking. And I told Bo, I said, when we get to the van, I'm gonna have to lay down. That's just all there is to it. Right now, I'm totally exhausted. I'm having trouble moving forward. I'm gonna have to lay down.
2.4 miles. That's a turn. Yeah, it's a little turn off, a little loop around. Yep, Buckeye Road. I'm gonna go see if there's a passway across a river. But anyway,
For the first time in 3 days, I'm zoinked.
I knew at some point that I was going to hit a wall. You know, I've been in lots of races, so I've run lots of marathons, I've run 100 milers, and I know how these things go. I mean, there's a constant ebb and flow of energy as you're going through a race of any distance. You know, even if you run a 5K, you realize, you know, mile 1, you feel great. Mile 2 is really hard, and then as you get closer to the finish line, all of a sudden you're moving along really well. Well, that was very similar to this experience, just, you know, it's not a 5K, it's 3 days long.
So when he came into that aid station and he asked for the chair, I knew that I'm like, things are getting a little, you know, maybe not tough, but rough. You know, he's getting into a rough spot. He's, you know, 20 miles to the finish, actually, 20 miles, and it's hot. I mean, it's hot. It would be so easy for anybody to sit in that chair and not get back up. And that's usually what happens. Usually the minute you sit down, it's really hard to take that next step and stand up. But the biggest thing with Brian is he loves to help other people. He is so self-giving. If he can come up with any way to help someone, he's doing it.
You know, I was certainly not running across Ohio for me. I mean, that's never been a thing. You know, I've never have dreamt about running across the state of Ohio. So for me, it was really something more. You know, it was running to inspire the local running community. It was running to raise awareness and money for Camp Nuhop. And when you're running for something a little bit bigger than yourself, it's pretty easy to take your aches and pains and exhaustion and kind of just wad it up and put it out there.
He says his feet feel blown out, but he wants to go all the way tonight.
Just catch a couple Z's.
He said for 10 to 15 minutes.
Cool. Are you just gonna keep going with him? Figure it out.
We literally climbing mountains for the rest of the trip.
I haven't scouted. I haven't scouted. Yeah.
Wow.
While you're doing that,
I want to see what happens when we turn off a roller coaster road, because some of these roads at nighttime are probably not the greatest.
keep pushing through. Fatigue, not broken.
No, I'm tired, and you know why?
For sure.
This is not anything beyond what I expected. Honestly, I knew this was going to happen. Like if you think you're going to run 250 miles across the state and you're just going to be like, oh, it's great, we're here. You're doing your own thing. That's why I wanted to do it. I knew it was going to be really hard. So it's totally fine.
And it hit me. I'm like, I've got more to give. I got to go.
Yeah, you're in great territory. Are you heading out now?
I am.
Sweet. Okay. I'll see you in 2 1/4. I'll give you a little scouting report there. Either way. These are barbecue. Gringos. Get you some gringos. Is that enough, or you want a fat stack?
This is perfect. Tell Speedy Gonzalez to catch me. I'm going to start going off the roller coaster.
So I popped up, and Bo and I started hiking. And, we start chit-chatting, and we're having fun. And next thing I know, Bo, let's just run a little. So we ran about 30 steps. And I'm like, okay, I didn't feel terrible. So we walked a little bit more, and then we ran for 5 minutes, and then we ran for 10 minutes. And before you knew it, we were moving along really, really well, making it into the next checkpoint.
What's that? Starting to come back around. I just gotta be patient. It's gonna come back around. Like we're back to running, and I couldn't run a little bit ago. So.
And so I would say for the next, 10 to 15 miles, we were run walking really fast. We were hitting the checkpoints really well, just really making time. It also helped that we got out of the hills. When we exited Roller Coaster Road, I probably had 10, 12 miles of really flat, open country running. The roads were great. It just made for some really good time. And we continued on that in that manner until we got really close to East Liverpool. And when we got close to East Liverpool, the hills started again, and not like little hills, humongous climbs. So we just kept moving the best we could. And when I got to the point where my crew said, hey, you got less than 2 miles to downtown East Liverpool, my body was pretty much gone at that point. I mean, it was really becoming very hard to move forward. I was actually just letting gravity take me. I was trying not to fall down. It wasn't running, it was trying not to fall down. But we roll into East Liverpool, and I look at my watch, and we're at like 11:30. We're gonna make it.
How far is it? Yeah. About how far though?
For me, I'm always racing against myself. I want to find out what my limits are, where can I go, how fast can I go, and I think that makes it more joyful.
Is this it?
This is it. Oh my God. You could take a ferry across there, but this is it, man.
Oh.
You did it.
What time? 11:31. Oh my. Wow. I gotta be honest, 20 miles ago, I was done. Done. So, but you can always give more. We did it. Every critter in the Critterverse is out this morning.
Have you
It's
seen
just
all
eyeballs.
6,000 raccoons?
Oh my gosh, running up and down all the
If I had to say something, I think my dad is crazy about what all the runs he does, all the 100-milers and all the crazy challenges he does.
You not get me in your video.
What?
You not get me in your video.
Oh, I would never do that. Never. I'm not rolling the camera right now. No way.
I had to pull the seldom used pee and walk maneuver. I had to go and there was nowhere. I mean, there is no cover out here.
How are you doing, Sid?
I have pillow marks on my face. Other than that, great.
How's the harvest this spring looking out here in the fields?
So nice.
Everything planted, nice, good beans?
There are some stretches, like for example, this one. Well, when you're back there, you can see for like 10 miles.
Yeah.
You run, it's like you're on a treadmill. Literally, I'm convinced I'm gonna be the only dude run across the state of Ohio, gain weight.
It's been an interesting town. There's been some folks who won't stop staring at us.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's pretty
If
fun.
they only knew how weird what we're doing is, they have no idea. They just think you're random people. Well, we're worse. And then once we're done with the running section, you're in. Oh man. Seriously, look at this. Oh.
Well, that's nice. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Dole and Nutella.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, White Bread. Oh my gosh. Greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, you go by, so it's like, oh, I know what's going on here, I can tell.
Well, after 50K, we got one person napping. Bo is ready. Yeah, we'll document it. It's gonna be sweet.
It'll be the sequel to this.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. It'll be pretty similar to the second Wedding Crashers film.
Oh yeah?
Non-existent.
We've got about a dozen junkyards in and around Crestline for people to come pick up their parts.
Yeah, they're green and white.
The Harbaughs are from here. Jack Harbaugh, born here. Jim and John, coaches, you know, they were around here.
But I will say, if you want to run 245 miles, all you really need, sorry Sarah, you just got to shoot this up the shorts. If you don't want to chafe.
Trev, let's go.
Doing great, guys.
Forever, we did.
Oh no.
You know, he runs 45, 50 miles. I can't keep up with him. I don't even know.
Am I right to just assume at this point that the secret to all this success is
No,
Bo?
I'm going to go into my shop.
Is that a fair assumption?
Tammy,
Absolutely.
Bo, how are things going?
It's going pretty well today.
Got onto Nuhop's Facebook the other day. I couldn't figure out how to use it.
What do you mean?
I couldn't figure out how Facebook works.
Facebook's worse.
I couldn't work. I was like, how do you find things on Facebook? I couldn't figure it out.
Search bar.
No, I didn't see there was a search bar.
And for God's sakes, can someone spray JP with
As soon as he came around me, the heat, I could feel the heat.
The stench is beyond repair.
Man, you're walking good. You got that marathon lean.
Are you 90?
Oh yeah.
Well, I've been sitting for 10 minutes, so I feel like it.
You're the same age. Like, no, yeah, but I keep running like this. I'm gonna get there.
Mikey, wait till morning.
Another beautiful day in paradise.
Sorry, we were too slow for you.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. It's so funny, people keep asking us, like, when are you gonna come through here? And I'm like, sometime between noon and 8. Oh man, this is the part of the documentary I'm not gonna watch.
Oh, I'll tell you, I have to look away at this part every time. So good.
Man, it's hot.
Yes.
It's so hot. I mean, I know you guys got the air conditioner just blazing.
As you can probably hear it in our car with the fan going on.
And that's a good car.
Oh, it's great.
swim across the river, go up over the hill about 4 or 5 miles, you're in West Virginia, and another 4 or 5 miles, you're in Pennsylvania. You can say you run 3 states.
Oh boy.
You only have to go 15 miles.
That'd be great. Run for 250 miles and drown trying to swim across the river. That blacktop is just like melting. Blacktop is so hot, it's like melting my shoes. It's unbelievable. Look at this.
He's gonna settle in.
Shower's out.
So are you continuing?
No. He needs to go potty. Oh yeah, I gotta go. It's become an emergency. Which way?